Okay, let's see if we can learn from our last game. We are playing Don Norius. Okay, now I think the lesson I'm getting from my last couple games is that I have to be more assertive. Our opponent's rating is 1984. Good year, good year. There you go again. You know, 1984. There you go again. It was the last and final. It was the last and most essential command of the party. You know, 1984. That's a little Orwell. It's a little Orwell. Okay, so we're gonna play like we mean it. I don't really know what that means, but I like it. Okay, I whatever he takes back with is not good for him. I think. It seems. Yeah, like that's bad. That's bad for him, right? Yeah, it feels like it should be bad, but who knows? Okay, now I can play there, which I like. So now we have this push coming in, which he is alert to. Okay. Let's take here. Okay, so now let's repeat. Okay. Now there is a very insane sequence where he takes, I take, he takes, I take, but then unfortunately that ends with him checking. So that's a no-go. So yeah, that whole sequence is a no-go. But this is okay. And same thing here. So if I take there, it looks free, but he takes, I take, and he takes with check. So that's a no-go. So I'm going to play there. Okay, let's be assertive. Push the pawn. Be assertive. All right. I'm trying to be more assertive. I'm trying to stand up for myself. Gosh darn it. He has this move that I'm a little bit scared of. But he plays there. I play there. He takes. I take. He takes. I play there. It looks pretty good. If he plays here, then he did not. Okay. Okay, I don't want him to take that square. So let's charge ahead. Play there. This feels a lot better. That's going to need to come in, and then I play there. And just try to all out assault him with the pawns. Okay, keep the plan going. I think we play here. If he plays there, I might have to take, unfortunately. But then I would just blockade the pawn. I'm going to trust my instinct and take. And now we trade everything? No, we can't do that. Okay. And take. Okay, let's prevent that idea. Actually, let's just take here. I approve of that. Okay, and then blockade the pawn. I mean, it's not necessary yet. Just attack first. Okay, blockade the pawn. That could have been trouble. And get the king out. And let's play an endgame. Okay. Let's get this this guy in the action. I don't see anything he can really do. If he goes and tries to take, then I just take the pawn. Okay, then I'm gonna go this route then. Then I'm gonna move the king up. Okay, let's try to win his pawn then. Okay, let's transfer the rook over. I'm not gonna lose this endgame. It's not an option. This bishop of his is completely useless. He might make a move like this to discourage this. I don't take. I go up. I'm expecting takes, but that third take is not possible because then I win a piece. Okay, I'm going to play there again, and then I'm going to try to eventually win a pawn. Okay, he wins a pawn, and now I believe I get a freebie. Okay, so now it's this move, right? Yep, there we go. Okay, so now I either win the pawn or I win his bishop. He can't have it both ways, and I think that's the winning move. He gives up a piece. Okay. Okay, I'll take the piece. All right, and we get a resignation. I'm gonna give a good game. That was a well-played game. Yeah, if you want to take bets at home, just came up with this idea. Good game to Donorius. All right, so if you want to put your bets in right now, last chance for alcohol. Finish your whiskey or beer. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. One time, I live in Minnesota, and the guy from Semisonic is from here. And one time he came into a restaurant I was working at, and we didn't have any tables open. And so I went up to him and I said, there's some people in the back that are about to be finished. This is a true story. So I go up to this guy. His name's Dan Wilson. So I go up to Dan Wilson and I say to him and his wife, there's some people in the back that are almost done eating. And so they should only be a few minutes. I'll make sure you get the table. And he says to me, oh, thank you. Are you guys always this busy? And I said, well, no, but usually almost up until closing time. True story. True story. Ask Dan Wilson. He'll definitely remember. Dan Wilson remembers that. I guarantee it. Now, I played 89%. So if you guessed 89%, congratulations. My opponent, Don Orius, had 0 inaccuracies, 2 mistakes, and 1 blunder. So I had 2 blunders and 3 inaccuracies. A very fine game. 31 cent-upon loss. My opponent with a 41 cent-upon loss. A very fine game. I feel like I actually implemented the changes that I was watching in the previous games that were making me lose. Bobby Fischer and Spassky. This follows a Fischer Spassky game. Wow. Okay. This does not follow a Fischer Spassky game. Yasser Sarawan had this position against Ulf Anderson. I think I might have seen that game. And it wants me to play C5. C5 is an annoying move. C5 would be a very annoying move. So I understand. The reason that I took with it, though, is because if he took back away from the queen, then I thought that would give me really good opportunities to push e4, move the rook out, and get an open file. So I thought, and then I thought, if he takes with that pawn, then I get to play rook c1. So so he took with that pawn, and I got to play rook c1. After rook c1, these are all top engine moves, or possibly top 2 engine moves, depending on what engine you have and at what depth it's running. The only inaccuracy was my opponent played rook a to c8, and it wanted him to play rook f to c8. And now taking here at knight e5, both totally fine. Taking totally fine. That move is not recommended by the engine, but it's not an inaccuracy and it's not a mistake. And now I discussed this during the game. This was discussed during the game. And the reason that I said it was a no-go was because he would take with check. But it doesn't mind that. I didn't want to go into an endgame just to mess up his pawn structure a little bit. My opponent should just take. He doesn't want to get too fancy here. He got a little too fancy. So g4 is the kind of move that I would never play. Like, this is not that is not in my style. But I've been looking at what I've been doing wrong, and no matter what level of chess you're playing at, it's totally fine. As long as you don't keep making the same mistakes. I think both in chess and basically anything, I think that's really the important thing. Now, of course, the idea of g4 is that if he moves, if he were to get scared and like play here, then I have this. It's not checkmate, but it's good. It's definitely good. H4 is a blunder, and it's also the number 3 engine move. So I don't know. Top engine move. H5 was correct. Queen D8 is the number 1 engine move. Okay, so I guess this was a little bit too slow. The idea was that if I want to push there, then that is impossible. So, but he jumps down there. H6 is a blunder, but it becomes incredibly hard for my opponent to defend because this is the number 1 engine move. H takes on G7 is the number 1 engine move. And now this is where my opponent blunders. What my opponent should do is take the pawn. Thankfully, my opponent took first, which allowed me the one and only winning move. So if you skipped the entire game that I played and just went to the analysis, find the winning sequence right now. You could either promote to a queen. A rook would also be fine. All of this is engine approved. And then after this exchange, it's actually pretty remarkable. It's like top engine move. All of these were considered best moves except E3. After this sequence of moves, Rook B8, he cannot prevent the pawn from being lost. And so even if he had played, this, it really doesn't matter. That's game. This is the final position of the game, and the engine actually announces checkmate in 16. Yeah, one way this game could have ended. This is just following engine recommended moves. Bringing the pawn up, and his bishop and pawn are helpless to do anything. And even if he is able to get down and promote to a queen, that's checkmate. So that is one of many ways the game could have ended. But that was a really excellent game. And man, my rapid rating is only 1934. Good year. Good year. Brother, can you spare a dime? So this has been Mustachiola. Tip of the hat. Drop of the mic.